Well, just got finished moving into my new place. It's time for Preaching to the Choir Ministries.
The fool has said, it is hard, there is no God, they are corrupt.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of our Preaching to the Choir Ministries. And as you see, I moved into my new home here. And I'm settled in, now I'm ready to make a video. And my very first video is going to be on this garbage that my God is immoral. And I'm going to take a different approach on this topic this time. Usually I'm in a room with 8 other atheists. I'm defending God that way and usually doing a pretty good job at it. But today I want to address something that was said in Nadia's room. You see, there are some people out there that think abortion is okay. Okay, there are some people out there that believe that embryos that are not conscious don't have the right to live. Some people will argue that these embryos are not human beings. They're not people. They're just a bunch of mixed up cells, you know what I mean, that don't have the right to live. And I remember specifically asking this particular atheist that, is that true for all non-conscious beings? And that means that would mean animals like cats and dogs and lions and tigers. And this particular atheist, who has no experience of arguing with me whatsoever, actually tried to make the argument that these animals don't have the right to live. In evolution, you know, you're considered an animal. Oh, G-Man, you don't understand, G-Man. With it, you know, a lion and a tiger and you being an animal ain't necessarily the same thing. Because I know that, because you would be more evolved, and you believe that those who are more evolved have more rights than those who are not as evolved. Totally understand that. Totally get that. See, you got a problem with that, though. Okay? You argue that God is immoral for doing what he wants with his creation, but you argue that a woman can do what she wants with her body, and she is not immoral. God can't do what he wants with his body or his creation, but but the woman, who's a human being, hint hint humanism, hint hint secularism, hint hint atheism, that the human being has the right to do what they want with their body. I mean, do you guys see the hypocrisy here? But you want to know what's even worse about this regarding the atheist community? I believe it was Von Helton that was in the room with Nadia. And Von Helton was listening to this argument. And Von Helton made a brilliant point when he had said that these people are playing God, trying to decide who lives and who dies. These are people who claim that there is no God, there is no supreme being, there is no supernatural God, that they themselves are not being gods themselves, but then they're playing God by trying to determine, well, this group of people gets to live because they're more evolved, and these people over here, because they're not conscious, gets to die. And you know what? It just proves that not only is the atheist community inconsistent, that they're heartless, immoral sinners who desperately need to come to Christ. This is why I keep saying the concept of God will never disappear out of the minds of any man or any woman on the earth, because you got atheists out there who are trying to be God themselves. They'll sit there and, like I said earlier, they'll sit there and try to determine, who lives and who dies based on who's more evolved than the other person. As a matter of fact, racism stems from evolution as well, because, the more evolved people should have the right to own people who are not as evolved as other people. Evolution is a philosophy. It is not a science. Buying into evolution causes you to belittle people into believing that they are nothing more than animals, okay, who barely have the right to survive. But what's so funny about the atheist community is this. For the time being, they'll say that that embryo is not a human being. That is probably a parasite that's living off the host. They'll make an argument saying that we human beings are animals, we're nothing special, we're no different than a chimpanzee or a giraffe or aardvark or something like that. But the funny thing is, they don't believe that. Because if they did believe that, then I should have the right to put you in a zoo. I should have the right to put you on display for more intelligent people to look at you in a zoo. You do not believe that you're an animal. Okay? What the atheist community needs to come to grips with is this. They hate the idea of God so much. They hate theism so much that whether it makes sense or not, they are going to listen and buy into the secular worldview, because that worldview according to them anyway, doesn't include a God. But the joke's on them. It does include a God. His name happens to be Satan, the God of this world. So with that being said, this has been another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries, letting all of you know to read your Bible and do what it says. And ignore this secular world. These people are inconsistent and they don't know what they're talking about. God bless.